Hey guys, welcome back to Crafting Cars. So here's the deal. We've got the Modest Premium Automotive Showcase in 30 days from today. So I printed out a list of everything I need to get done, starting with painting underneath the flares. So let's get this car jacked up and get right to work. Actually, it is looking pretty good under there already, but I do notice I do got to seam seal up that crack before I paint anything. So I ordered up some seam sealer, and while we wait, let's move on to the next item on the list. Sand rear bumper and wing with 400 grit. 28 days till Modest. All right, we got our first item crossed off. I just got back from work and we are gonna be sanding on those stripes today. I'm just going over this panel nice and light. The last thing I wanna do is put any grooves in there. All right guys, we're sitting at 27 days till Modest. You can see I was able to salvage the top and middle portion of the middle stripe here. Obviously I'm still gonna have to spray the bottom portion here, but I was able to get that flat yesterday. So we'll scuff that up and get that ready to go. I think I should be able to polish, or at least wet sand and polish the top portion of the front stripe here. Obviously I'm gonna have to scuff and repaint the front portion of the front stripe. And then we'll see if today I get around to masking a new line on the front bumper where this stripe is gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the flare. And the bumper flares are sanded. All right, today's the day we lay down some paint. Because it is 77 degrees out today, we're gonna be using the mid-temp urethane activator and reducer. And also because it's 77 degrees out today, I am sweating in this paint suit. But yeah, I got pretty much everything ready to go. All there's left to do is lay some paint on it. Today was by far the best paint day I've ever had. So let's see, bumper and wing are painted. We resprayed our passenger stripes. We hit those spots on the bumper flares. I finally got my seam sealer in the mail, so this weekend we're gonna work on painting under those flares and beginning the wet sanding process. Because this right here is gonna take the longest out of everything on this list. All right guys, sorry I haven't given you an update in a little bit. My garage is a mess right now, but I did begin wet sanding. But as you can see, I accidentally burned through in one spot. So I did a quick little touch up. We'll see if I can sand that flat and blend it in with the rest of the bumper. It's kind of wishful thinking. If I can't pull that off, I'm gonna have to respray the rear bumper. Yeah, it is what it is. One thing I did wet sand and polish to completion is the hood. That turned out really nice. Well guys, we got 18 days till Modest. I'm finally getting around to painting underneath these fender flares here. I'm just brushing on this pretty thick rubberized coating here. Really making sure I'm working it into that crack. Feels good to cross off that one. Now let's get back to wet sanding and polishing. We're getting there slowly but surely. For these small corners and the flare piece, I just like to work that compound in by hand. Now that's more like it. That's the shine I'm looking for.
There's so much luster, guys.
We got 16 days till Modest. I just finished polishing up the trunk. It looks great. Got the carbon as well, that's looking clean. Now I'm back from vacation. I got the roof all polished up. I got about 99% of the defects and the little bugs out of the roof. It looks real good and I'm ready to move on to the quarter panels. So just a quick check-in for you guys. It's currently 2:35 in the morning. We're working in little 4 square foot sections and each one of those sections is taking around an hour. I mean, we're taking the paint from this hazy orange peely finish to this. This is about probably 15 minutes worth of buffing here. To this, a nice glass-like finish. I easily have 20 hours already into buffing this thing out, and I probably have another 20 hours to go. Okay, the quarter panels are done. We've got 9 days till Modest. I was talking to my buddy Dane today. I was telling him about how long it was taking me to get all my sanding scratches out, and he recommended I switch from my foam heavy cutting pad to a wool pad. So I did a couple passes and it seems to be working a lot faster, but I won't know for sure until I test it out on our next panel, which is the door. Well guys, we got 5 days till modest, but I've got some really good news. I've just finished wet sanding and polishing the entire car. And now we can work on the fun stuff. So I get to assemble the exterior, get the engine bay sorted out, make sure we get the interior cleaned up. Just a bunch of little things, but it's all really good stuff. I got a new valve cover, or it's the same valve cover, but instead of spray paint wrinkle red, it is now powder coated wrinkle red with removable zinc coated baffle. My buddy Charlie hooked me up with that. Very excited about putting that in the engine bay. Put my wing back on is going to be a little bit more challenging because that wing is meant for sticking onto the OEM rear glass. And now we got Lexan, which is a lot more flat. So I'll probably have to make a custom gasket out of Sikaflex for that one. And hopefully in the next couple days, we'll be hitting the road. I almost forgot. I got the undercoating done, but now I need to do the seam sealing under the flares. Oh, that totally worked. Well guys, we got 2 days till modest. I've pretty much got the exterior wrapped up besides for a few small details. Obviously we gotta put the wheels back on, but then we're gonna put some fluids in the car. I got a new battery to put in. I wanna clean the injectors and the fuel filter today, and then we should be ready to hit the road. All right, so our fuel filter actually looks really good. There's no specks of anything on there. Let's check out those injectors. Now here I am actually seeing a little bit of buildup at the end of the jets. So what I like to do is take a 9-volt battery and some alligator clips, connect it to the connector on the injector, and I take a little straw for the carbon choke cleaner. I put some electrical tape around it just so it fits in the hole a little bit better, and I spray through it. Looks good to me. Well guys, here we go. I don't remember the last time I've started this car. I know it's been probably close to a year. This car's been sitting since November of 2022. So here we go, first start. We'll see what happens. Double check everything's plugged in. Oh, you know what? I didn't plug in my injectors. That would do it. That's good.
Yeah.
Because that means that I got the oil circulating around before I got the fuel going, so.
Right.
Before I got a combustion. You know, you're gonna want these. I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah. I mean, you know, ideally you want every part of the car plugged in before you know you start it.
Here we go again. It runs. All right, well, here goes our maiden voyage. Angle out as best I can. Listening for any rubbing here. Oh. I don't know, it sounded terrible though.
There's nothing on this side?
No, it was definitely on the right side. Come on, don't be bad. Yeah, so on that right side wheel, the front right wheel is rubbing. Oh, it's been so long. Okay. Can we turn okay? Okay, it sounded like I was rubbing a little in the rear there. Oh yeah, it's definitely rubbing in the rear. So Modest is tomorrow. I got plenty of time tonight to clean up the car, but I noticed the rubbing is actually a little bit worse than I thought yesterday. So you could see there's not a lot of marks on the tires, but in the front, it looks like we can come in contact with the headlight bracket in there. And then in the rear, the rubbing is actually pretty scary. I didn't notice it was so bad, but on here you can see you got some rubber flaking off. That's not good, because if that keeps going, then we're gonna pop a tire. I noticed that's obviously rubbing right here. Bob let me borrow his air compressor, so I'm gonna be using my air saw on it since I don't want to generate any heat under the paint because it's gonna bubble and flake up and everything. So yeah, that's what we got going on tonight. Let's get to work. So I jack up the car, and the first thing I noticed when I take the wheel off is we had like a huge oil leak last night after driving the car. So I don't know, hopefully it's nothing too bad. Looks like most of it is just coming out of the drain plug here. So what that probably is I used the copper crush washer, and what came with the Moroso oil pan is a plastic crush washer. So I could just drain this oil into a clean pan, swap out the washer. You see that spot where it's rubbing, guys? It won't be there for long. So in the rear, as you can see, I shaved off a little bit more of this side and quite a bit of this side. I pounded the gap flat, and any exposed metal or holes I'm gonna be filling with 3M panel bonding adhesive. As for the front, I just unbolted this piece here. This is the back of the headlight bracket. There's 4 points where the headlight attaches, and it looks like I'm only gonna need 3. I unbolted this, and the headlight still looks just fine. So I'm gonna be cutting off this tab, cutting off this tab right here. As far as up here, we're looking pretty good. I don't see any paint rubbed off. I see a little here. So from here all the way to down here, I'm probably gonna try to hammer that little pinch weld flat against the fender there, just so I don't have a sharp edge, and I'll probably cut off this tab here. So here's that edge, now hammered in nice and smooth. And we got those brackets cut in the front. So now that we got underneath the flares all sealed up, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the crush washer for our oil drain bolt. I got a plastic one I just picked up, so yeah, hopefully that fixes our oil leak for tomorrow. So now I'm gonna respray these guys. I'm gonna clean up my leather shift boot here, and while that's all drying, I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum out and wipe down my interior. Our interior pieces are dry, and I'm gonna be throwing in some brand new OEM Civic floor mats. I think now we can finally check off paint damaged interior pieces, and I still got to detail the interior plastics. We're not going to end up painting the white outlines for tomorrow. I actually like the look of just the plain black stripes. Maybe in the future we'll add them, but I'm still kind of on the fence. And then, so yeah, assemble exterior, anything missing, I think we got that. So yeah, just got to wipe off the interior plastics and then get ready to detail it. Window hardware is tightened up. The interior looks great. Go ahead, cross that off. Now it's just the show ready detail. There is one more thing that I want to add to the car though, and that would be this guy right here, a new windshield banner to go with the theme of the car. And just like that, guys, this thing is show ready. Obviously, I'm gonna do a little bit more cleaning when I get to the show, just because I'm gonna be picking up some road grime on the way there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cross off the detail there. We've done it. We have gotten this car prepped for Modest in 30 days. Mission success. I went around, I looked at all the wheel wells, and it looks like we're gonna have plenty of clearance, or at least a lot more clearance than we did before. Got a lot of friends there. I got some family showing up, so this is gonna be a good event. I'm really glad we made it. My goodness, that was one of the most challenging tasks, one of the most challenging time crunches I ever gave myself. Not too much sleep, but we locked in and we got it done. So tune in for our next episode of Crafting Cars in 2 weeks from now. Thank you guys for all the support. We're gonna be close to 6,900 subscribers, so our podcast episode will be coming soon. And yeah, I will see you then. Bye-bye.